I will wait a couple of minutes for people who are late. Okay. Well, it is 4 p.m. Let's just be on time then. Too bad for people who are late. Okay. I hope all of you have your running shoes on because the first 5 people to find something that reminds them of Texas and raise their virtual hand gets to tell us why.
Y'all, I came prepared today. Let me just say, nothing screams Texas like overalls. let me just say, I got it from Target, like that bougie stuff place. Anybody else got anything? Reminds me of Texas.
Not going to lie, those overalls are pretty cool, but I do have a Alpha Utah sticker, which is my chapter, and it reminds me of Texas and all those super, super great memories. But like I said, your overalls are pretty cool. Wish I had some of my own.
It looks like Hargis is eager to share.
Go for it.
We got an army man because it's Texas, and a large percentage of our population is actually involved in the military. Although we got this in Ohio, but so.
No, I got that strikes.
Oh yeah, this one that strikes. Okay, we got this one that strikes. Sorry.
I have a cow that has a bell on it. I don't know. I think of Texas and I think about cows. I don't know why. Is there anyone else who wants to share?
We'd like to know if that's a real cow.
Oh, no, it's not. I don't kill cows, no. I love my cows.
So I have a sunflower purse, and that reminds me of Texas because wildflowers are a big thing here in Texas, and nothing cheers me up more than seeing all the bluebonnets and flowers along the side of the road.
I love that.
That's so awesome. We just planted a whole bunch of bluebonnets at one of our new campuses.
That's fantastic. Is there anybody else that would like to share too? I love everyone's items so far. No. Yes. No. Okay. Well, as I said, those are fantastic items, and that actually leads us into the beginning of our workshop. So we are super proud and happy to present on this topic of why you should engage at the regional level, as it is a community worth belonging to. Today we have both the Alpha Utah chapter and the Beta Delta Omicron chapters. I can start with introduction. So my name is Alexis Merker. I am from the Alpha Utah chapter. And next we have...
Hi everyone, I'm Anna Sita and I'm from the Alpha Utah chapter.
Hi, I'm Diksha Vivekanand and I'm from the Alpha Utah chapter.
I am Elise Collins, also from the Alpha Utah chapter.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Menduti, and I am from the Beta Delta Omicron chapter.
And last but not least, hi, everyone. I'm Angelina Rodriguez, and I am from the Beta Delta Omicron chapter as well.
Okay, so what even is the Texas region anyway?
That's a great question, Elise. So much like everything in Phi Theta Kappa, here in the Texas region, we're founded on the 4 hallmarks of Phi Theta Kappa: scholarship, leadership, fellowship, and service. And so we're going to go into depth a little bit more about those, starting with scholarship. So every year, the Texas region hosts a major conference called the Texas Honors Institute, where we go more into depth about scholarship, which is really just scholarly research, and honors in action. And you know what? We always bring in lots of great speakers, and so it gives you lots of great chances to take notes.
So wait a minute, Anna. Why should I pay to listen and take notes? I do that in class anyways.
Well, I can answer that question for you. Of course, you get to listen to amazing speakers, but the Texas Honors Institute also benefits you in fellowship and reaching out to different chapters, amazing breakout groups, and Texas Honors Institute brings members and advisors together to dive into the honor study topic and learn through experiences and push boundaries that offer various perspectives to enhance your chapter's honors in action project. We also give out scholarships at the Texas Honors Institute.
It's all about the money, money, money. How do I get it?
I'm glad that you asked. So in Phi Theta Kappa, there are multiple opportunities for scholarships. Two of my favorites are here right at the Texas region. So first, we have the Walter B. Cooper Scholarship, which is awarded in the fall. And finally, the Dr. Mary Hood Star Scholarship awarded in the summer. So definitely make sure that you're applying to those, updating your resumes with all of your fantastic leadership experience.
I know how to follow, but I have never led before.
Well, we need to teach you how to lead, of course. Let me tell you about Texas Leadership Conference. So at this conference, it's all about expanding your leadership skills. Similar to Texas Honors Institute, you have the chance to hear from amazing speakers, engage in insightful discussions in your breakout rooms, engage in fantastic and super fun fellowship events, and finally, chapter and regional bonding. I know I love some bonding myself. So if you're interested, and I definitely agree, I suggest it, this year it is virtual, so you can attend from home. Join us October 15th through the 17th in this year. Hope to see you there.
So another great way to build your leadership skills in the Texas region is by running for regional office. So at the Texas Regional Convention every year, every chapter in Texas gets a chance to run for regional office. And it's a great chance to build your leadership skills and network and really get to know everyone else. And additionally, another way to, build your professional resume is by doing competitive edge. And here in the Texas region, when you complete competitive edge, we will actually send you the pin instead of having to go and buy it yourself.
Okay, so competitive edge, does that mean I get to fight people?
No, I think we get to compete in esports. This one time I won a Just Dance competition. Definitely the highlight of my childhood.
So you're close, but not really. We'll just say that you're close. Competitive Edge is more about a program all about your professional development. This means that it's going to focus on improving your people skills and your career planning. And even more bonus things that you get to learn while doing this program is you get to communicate effectively, you get to increase your cultural awareness, and you get to test your professional etiquette. And something that's really cool about this competitive edge thing is that it's interactive. So it's not one of those things that's like you're just reading an article or you're just, watching videos. It's all of it. You have articles, questionnaires, TED Talks. It makes the whole thing super exciting. And don't forget that your competitive edge pin is paid for by the Texas region, as long as you complete it before TLC by a certain date.
That sounds even better. But what if I just want to talk and talk and talk and talk?
Great. It's so nice that you mentioned that because the Texas region has a place for you. You can have everyone else listen to you by presenting at a regional workshop, just like we are all doing it right now. And you can teach other chapters and new officers just about what PTK has to offer them.
In addition to that, we have entire workshops like Hallmark Writing, Honors in Action, College Project, and Marketing. You know what, Anjali? Now that I think about it, I don't think we have a workshop for service. We should definitely have one.
But does service mean we all have to become cadets? I can only do one push-up. I can't even run.
Well, good news. Similar to the service, you don't have to, similar to the service, it's all about helping each other when you need it the most. So you have the chance to help your communities and also partner with fellow sister chapters to help each other. It's all about helping one another for sure. In addition, if you would like to share your story about what you have done in addition to helping your fellow sister chapters, you can even share your story by applying to the Texas Region Hallmark for service. Definitely do that. I would suggest it.
You know what, Alexis? Maybe we can do a regional service event.
So why should I do this engagement thing anyway? I mean, will I walk out with a ring on it?
Oh, silly. This is not a dating app. This is a BFF app.
So no, you won't walk away with a husband from it, but it is a great chance to fellowship and to get to meet people from other chapters. So the Texas region has lots of chances for fellowship. Not only do we offer chances for, getting to know other sister chapters in the region and helping link you together for fellowship events, but also at every conference and convention we do, Texas Honors Institute, Texas Leadership Conference, and the Texas Regional Convention, there's lots of opportunities for fellowship, from fellowship events that we sponsor to just going and getting to meet people from other chapters, from other regions. Because by the way, the Texas region is one of the biggest regions. And so people like to come and visit our conferences and conventions. So I've met people from the New England region, from the Florida region at our own conferences without having to leave Texas. And so it is a great chance to make friends and to fellowship with people.
Yes, Anna, and in addition to that, inductions are a great way to fellowship as well. You can get to attend other sister chapters. You can meet friends. You can celebrate with your loved ones about how freaking awesome you are, right? So we also have these like fellowship dates nights that you can get to play a lot of games with your sister chapters. These games include like playlist bingo. You can do the online Pictionary. You can do Holy One game nights. No, you definitely can have a lot of fun with other sister chapters.
I have a question. How do you find out about these fellowship events?
Oh, goodness. Social media, that is literally my job for Alpha Mu Tau.
Really? How does the Texas region help me network?
So the Texas region social media is super important, and they specifically have Instagram and Facebook. And it's important because everything that the Texas region does, they post about it. So their scholarships, the Texas Region Awareness Week, which FYI is going on right now. Like today and like tomorrow. Side point. And the scholarship deadlines, other sister chapter events. Oh goodness.
Cool.
And and there's also the district newsletters. So this is kind of more of like an email, if you don't really have the Instagram, Facebook shebang, there's the email, there's the PDF version. And this is really cool because it says the exact same thing, just like, in a little email format. And so it talks about different scholarship deadlines that are related to the Texas region, Phi Theta Kappa, even sometimes scholarships outside of that. They also talk about upcoming events and like TLC coming up. And then you also have the Texan. Now the Texan is pretty cool because if your chapter is doing something amazing, brag about it. Write about it on the Texan. We want to hear about this. You want to brag about your chapter. We want to see what y'all are doing.
I have to think about that, but thank you for that information because now I know how to steal your job.
So I know that there is a spot for advisors to get involved with the Texas region. Dr. Hargis, can you tell us more about that?
Love to. I enjoy listening to what you guys are saying. I just have a few things to add. Interestingly enough, when I became an advisor, I thought it was pretty neat. And, you have your chapter and you get to know some of your students on your campus and you can engage and you think you're doing a great job. But sorry, kids, I just have to say to the advisors, sometimes it becomes monotonous and the same thing happens over and over again. And approximately 2 to 3 years in, most advisors start to wonder, why are we doing this? Let me tell you why. Because there's so much more than just the chapter, and there's so many more ways you can help your students, your members, than just at your community college or your community. I figured that out a little late in the game. It was because the district coordinator was really amazing and our region coordinator at the time was great. And I kind of reached out and I said, hey, I'm a little bored and what can I do? And so Linda at the time and Deb, they were like, hey, this is great. Once you're at the conventions, there's all kinds of things. You need to step outside your zone, start volunteering for different things. So I'm going to try and go back on your hallmarks and give a little bit for each area. First and foremost, advisors are instrumental in getting their members to actually apply for scholarships. You are the one who knows more about what's going on. You're the one who probably gets a lot more emails from your coordinators, and you're the one who can relay the information. It's really great for the students to know what they're doing, but it's really great when they hear it from you because they don't think it's fake. Not only that, the region awards are from the Alumni Association. And when people think about applying for awards, they're like, well, or scholarships, they're like, well, I don't know if I can get it, blah, 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 blah. It's only $150. Let me tell you, it's a great way to get your foot in the door on learning how to write scholarships, how to approach people to get recommendation letters and whatnot. So I always tell my students, apply, 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 apply. Not only that, when you're going up against only the Texas region, the pool of candidates is less than when you're going up against all Phi Theta Kappa members. So in scholarships, there's that. Honors in Action, I can tell you that I've been an advisor since 2012, and I can honestly say I've never been to a face-to-face international honors event. They are, from what I hear, amazing, and I have done a virtual one and I would love to go, but they're significantly more expensive. So from the advisor perspective, the Texas region has a great program that provides you the information, the data that you need in order to learn the Honors in Action programming face-to-face or interacting with people who know the guides. A lot of our Texas people are involved on the group, the faculty council that makes it. So you're getting an amazing group of people. So I highly recommend if you don't have the budget to go to international honors, Texas honors, I've heard is way better, but I will tell you that I have learned so much about it. Honors in Action is not really my area, but I do enjoy going to the honors, the Texas honors programming. When you guys are talking about leadership, I can't stress enough how getting your foot in the door early on is great. Being involved at the region, at the chapter is really good. But when you're going into the workshops like this that's being presented, you can learn to speak in front of a group. When we're not virtual, you can also do them at the actual conferences and conventions. And so you get to stand in front of a room, you get to try and learn how to interact with people. I can assure you that your fellow members are significantly nicer than random people. And so it's a great place. But most of our members won't try it unless we, the advisors, give them that push. And I always tell my students, if there's an opportunity, do it. Even if you're not so sure, just try it. It won't hurt you at all. It gives you some experience, and the more experience you can get, the better. So when we're talking about Texas leadership, I will say that that is my favorite conference. I know Texas Honors is very important for Phi Theta Kappa programming, but at Texas leadership, we get to engage. We get to learn how to develop our own personal leadership styles. We can help our students develop and grow. It's a great way to recruit new people. So advisors, if you're looking or struggling for new officers for the next year, Texas leadership is the best place to take them because it's not connected to anything Phi Theta Kappa specific, and they can find themselves in the programming, and that usually draws them in and wants them to be more involved. On a side note, Phi Theta Kappa headquarters has a great program to get you certified in leadership training. Once you are certified, then you can be a facilitator. No offense, members, but advisors kind of get bored sometimes when you guys are off in these little groups having fun. But once I started doing facilitating, it just completely changed my entire perspective of conferences. I was able to get engaged. Obviously, as you can tell, I love to talk and stand in front of a room. And so it gave me the opportunity to really meet people outside of my chapter. What really excited me about this is I got to meet people from all over Texas. And then when you go to Catalyst and they're running for international office, you're like, oh my gosh, that person, they were in my group and I told them to run. That was me. Because, you know, it's all about how we help people. But anyways, facilitating is a great way to make conferences significantly better for you. It helps you engage and it helps you really want to stay around. Like I did it for 2 years and I thought I'm going to get out. And then Linda brought me into the region and now what is it? Way too many years later. So if you're bored at the conference, come talk to me because facilitating is a really great way for you to start getting engaged. Also, the group was talking about running for regional office. I can tell you for the first few years, I did not want any of my people running for office. I didn't want extra work on myself. I thought it was going to be super hard. And as an advisor, I've got enough going on. And so I really was not interested in that at all. And then finally, I had this one student who I truly believed in, who wanted to get more active, wanted to develop his leadership skill at the next level. He wanted to go from secretary at our chapter to running for president of the Texas region. What I found was it's not about winning. My group had the most fun that year just campaigning. First of all, planning the campaign, getting together, making a skit, having to make a speech, working together as a team, then being at the event campaigning. It changed the entire experience. And since then, I have stolen this from Gigi. Since then, I require my officers to run every single year, regardless of whether or not there's somebody who might want to be our chapter representative, because just the campaigning for regional office is an experience that I can see night and day for my students. They get to be creative, they get to have a little bit of fun, they get to get outside of their comfort zone and truly get to meet people. If you go to the Texas Region Convention and you're not running for office, I'm not saying you're not going to have a good time, but sometimes you can stay in your shell and you don't have to interact and meet new people. But if you're running and you're campaigning, oh no, there's that congeniality. And I want Mary Bear. All right, I want Mary Bear on the seat. She's next to me. I don't have to win. I just need the bear. So it's much more fun. You see the students engaging and having a great time. And advisors, it is not more work on you. I promise. I would not do it if it was more work. Trust me, I have way too many children, and that's not just the members at Phi Theta Kappa. All right, so then let's see, service. Service is really near and dear to my heart. I think that we should always reach out and help everyone. When we weren't in the virtual realm, the Texas region always has a service project at every convention, every conference, and it really brings the entire Texas region together. We have applied every year for the service award, and I can tell you that my students that's their event that they really enjoy the most. And so getting engaged in service. And then what I love about the virtual realm is that we can engage in other people's service and people can share across. We see a lot more of that sharing going on. And so if you don't have any ideas, you can steal some, because Texas got some great ideas. That's all I have to say. Fellowship. Okay. Advisors, look, I know that you've got a lot going on and you think going to a bingo night is just one more thing on your plate and that you just don't have time for that. But I have had officer teams that did not do fellowship, and I've had officer teams that did. And I can tell you that you have a much better time, and it's a lot easier helping a team out when they're fellowshipping and getting engaged. And the best part is at the Texas region level, they do a lot of the work, or you can meet a sister chapter that does the work. So if you don't have time to plan it, trust me, your sister chapters want to work with you. So advisors, you really, really need to do that. All right, that takes me to the Texas Region Convention, which of course is the party of the year. Aside from being I won't say my age, just an old lady who just loves to wear sequins, it's a great time for advisors to learn how to get engaged. There's an advisory board, and we love new blood. You do not have to be from an award-winning chapter. You can just be a new person who's interested in getting engaged. Trust me, don't you want to be on another committee? Don't you want to put something else on your resume? Don't you want to engage somewhere else? That's where it's at. So all you do is you put your name on the list and you can run and be on the advisory board. That makes you part of the leadership team. You get to go to all of the planning meetings. You get really great polos, which I'm actually not wearing today, but that's okay. And you get to work with the top-notch people. It helps you personally develop, which again, always advisors are looking to develop their personal leadership skills as well as work well with other people and learn more things about the region. And that's where you can get started easily. So if nothing else, put your name on the list and reach out, because there's a lot to do at the Texas region. Oh my gravy, I'm so sorry. Please meet me.
See, there's so much to do at the regional level. So now that you know everything that you can do, how do you want to get engaged? And we've got some time for questions and answers. So we will open it up to the floor. Or I guess the virtual floor.
So I know I just talked, but I had a question from a student today that I told her I would bring to the students. And so this person said that they really don't have that much time. And what's the point of getting involved at the region level if you're involved at the chapter? Isn't that enough? So my question is, what's the difference? What's the point?
Well, technically, even attending a conference or convention is getting involved at the regional level. So if you're only involved with the chapter, you're missing out on all of these fantastic parties and conferences. So that's that's my take. What about everybody else?
My thing that I would definitely suggest is that you can find inspiration from other chapters. Alpha Mutal was talking with Beta Delta Omicron yesterday, and we were just discussing that seeing the other projects other chapters have done have really inspired us to be better and grow and improve. So definitely that, and also those memories that you can get attending those conferences and conventions, like Anna said, engaging at the region. There's tons of things. And plus, it helps your resume too.
Can I jump in here? Because, I just can't keep myself quiet. And I have controlled the mute, so, and I can't mute me. So what I think is really important, and I completely agree with what Anna and Alexis both said, networking is one of the most important things that you can do for your future. And it's something that sadly, too many people don't realize this until it's too late, that they've missed out on a lot of opportunities to network. You are in an organization with people who are going to be working in different fields and doing different things in the future. Not to mention that the right here, right now, when you get involved at the regional level, you meet a lot of professors and other professionals in different fields who can help you write letters, connect you with people and things like that. And there's just no price tag you can put on that. If you listen to a career coach, if you listen to the edges, like all of it will tell you the importance of that networking in getting transferred to an institution, getting scholarships, and getting jobs in the future. And so you widen your net, right? With that networking, when you get involved at different levels. The great thing about Phi Theta Kappa is you can do it on your own terms. You don't have to you're not committing to a certain number of hours or anything like that. So you can engage in the ways that's meaningful and that you have time to do so. But you should never turn your back on these opportunities, because you just never know when somebody's going to be invaluable. One of our former Texas regional officers, he's a Jack Kent Cooke recipient, so big scholarship there. And there were many on the Texas leadership team who he had on his scholarship writing team. So we were editing and giving feedback and things like that, relationships that he had built, right? So that was really important. But then he didn't get into his dream school. He had banked everything that he was going to go to Rice University, and he got waitlisted. And then he was in this panic mode of like, holy crap, found this out on July 5th. He's like, holy crap, I'm supposed to start school in August and I don't have a place to go. And so because he had these relationships, for example, with me, I was able to, because I thought Austin College is here is in Sherman, Texas. I was like, I think it'd be a great fit for you. I think you'd like the program. I went into my college president's office and said, I know it's past their deadline. I need you to reach out president to president and let this guy get an opportunity to do a tour and see if he can still get in with this class. And my president made that phone call for me because he knew me and knew I wouldn't stand up there if there wasn't a spectacular student. But you see how that networking was so important. He ended up going to Austin College, got tremendous scholarships there on top of that, and ended up getting a fully funded grad program. He's working on his PhD at Georgetown University. And so the networking is so important. And I just can't emphasize that enough.
I don't know about y'all, but when you go on like a long road trip and you're driving through Texas, I look at like the counties in which city I'm in and try to guess like the chapter that's in that place. And I love doing that. And I only know to do that because I'm engaged at the regional level. That's just a fun thing I do.
Amber asked a question in the chat about if you're brand new, the first step to get involved at the regional level, it's jump in with both feet. I'm not even kidding. But I will tell you the easiest thing to do to get involved is to attend a conference. And I think that's what I call kind of low risk way of getting involved, because you're kind of just a participant if that's all you want to be, right? You go, you watch the sessions, and you can kind of engage in your breakout groups, what have you, and on your own terms. But it's really low risk, but you start making those connections. And then you look forward to that at the next conference, which I'm going to speak it into truth. It's going to be in person. So Texas Regional Convention, going to be in person. But then you look forward to seeing people who you've like made relationships with, right? Who are now your friends. And it's really great. And then you start finding yourself wanting to do workshops and to do all the things. But I think the easiest, like, look, really honestly, the easiest thing is being here today, tuning into a workshop, paying attention, asking questions, right? And the next thing is going to a convention or a conference, and you just build from there as you want to do more.
Thank you very much.
Looks like Ashley has a question.
Hi guys, thank you for this great workshop. I'm taking lots of notes. My question is, there's some chapters who may not be as active. They may not have such active advisors. For a chapter like that, how would you recommend them tapping into resources and maybe being involved at the regional level more because their chapter may not be as involved?
So I'm actually going to point you directly to Rokai actually, because they are an excellent example of over the past 2-ish years, they were not very active and were not very involved. And really over the past year, they got an officer team that decided they wanted to be active and involved and to be a 5-star chapter, do their honors and action project, do their college project. And so the chapter officers went looking for how to engage regionally, what they needed to do, what conventions and conferences they needed to do, and became a 5-star chapter. But really it's because they set their sights for the moon. And so I would say that's all you need to do. My encouragement for chapters who aren't necessarily active is to think higher, think longer, set your goals farther than you think you can actually reach, and you'll reach farther than you would have otherwise.
I'm going to jump in there as well. So when Amber asked the question about where do you, if you're really new, I always tell people, this is an old person talking about, I'm like, Facebook. Weirdly enough, start following the Texas region on the Facebook page, start following the international headquarters on the Facebook page, and you'll see things that are getting done. And then find out who your district is, find out who's in your area. Because one thing I know that when I wanted to get engaged as an advisor, I just was kind of bored and didn't know what to do. And I was thinking of quitting and didn't know where to go. I went to my district coordinator. And so if people are really new, they might not know this, but so we have various levels at Phi Theta Kappa. You know, you have your chapter, which is local. Then you actually are a part of a district within the Texas region. And so we have 5. And then there's a district coordinator for every one of the districts. And then there is the Texas region coordinator and associate coordinator who could also be there as resources. And then on top of that, you have the headquarters, right? And so there, if you feel that your advisor isn't really knowledgeable, so every once in a while you'll get an advisor who's new and doesn't really know how to help, then your district coordinator is there to assist as well. And so that's a really great way. Getting on the newsletter, and the Texas region reposts every district's newsletter. You can find them online, and the Texas region coordinator posts a newsletter. I know that Alexis always reads it and contacts me. She's like, I read in the newsletter, and I'm like, you got that before? I did. And so there, you don't have to wait for your advisor to say this is what we're going to do. You can always reach out, and if you feel that you need help and your advisor needs help, we are here to help. And I know that the district coordinators are always there, open for anything that you need, any advice that you need. And I'll get random students who email me all the time. They're like, hi, I'm from this chapter, and I guess I need Deeksha to tell me what city that's in. And then they ask me for some help, and that's how we get you going. So there's more than one way to get the assistance and the push that you need, especially in the Texas region. That's one thing I found. Sometimes, I randomly reached out to Gigi one time. She's like, I don't know who you are. Let's talk. And then she told me what to do, and then I did it, and now we're doing it. So it's just like she just wanted to help, and now that's it. So we're here for you.
Yeah, I agree. And first of all, thank you, Alexis, for actually reading my newsletters. I'm glad somebody does. So very happy for that. But I try to give information. No, but I agree with what Dr. Hargis was saying. You know, reach out to, because it sometimes happens. You may have an advisor who isn't sharing all of the things with the chapter. It happens, and you may have. And then you ask Alexis. No, and then you may have. You know, only one or two officers who want to get more involved. You may not have a whole team behind you, right? And so the best thing to do is to reach out to your regional officers, reach out to your district coordinators, reach out to Dr. Hargis and me. And if you don't know how to contact any of us, I mean, at the very least, you can send a message on social media and somebody's going to answer it, because I promise I respond on the region channels. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And so there's lots of opportunities here to get information and to reach out. And then we will connect you as needed to help you engage in the way that you want to. We want everyone to have opportunities here.
And I know I just said something, but to add on to Linder, Texas Region has an amazing alumni association too. So I know that Linder responds to email or social media really quickly, but so does the region, like sometimes, or the alumni. The alumni see stuff before I do, and they're like, hey, Hargis, do you see this thing? Somebody's looking for something. I'm like, I'm a gravy, I'm getting there. I don't watch social media all day. So you also have that opportunity. So I think that the Texas Region is just unique in that we don't go away. People stay around and they want to help. And although we are competing against each other, we're competing so that we can all be the best. And so that's another thing. We had a group that they didn't have enough people to do an HIA project. They wanted to do something, and we offered for them to help us with something. And so we just, connected, we helped, and you can join up, you can help them find a way. And so there's lots of people who are willing to get engaged and help.
Yeah, and I think that became more obvious last year when everything went sideways very unexpectedly. I know that my chapter relied very heavily on Alpha Mu Tau and really appreciated all the support. When we had meetings, when we had events, when we had fellowships, it was nice to see supportive people at all of our things and really help us. We're a small chapter. We've always been a small chapter. We're probably always going to be a small chapter. We do great things, but we still need support. And so having that support from a sister chapter really was an amazing thing. And so I know that I really appreciated it, and so did all of our officers and our members. So that's always a really nice thing. You build really strong connections, and you're there for each other. It's nice to be able to come to each other's aid in that way, and to help provide whatever support may be needed. Sometimes it's just I need to be a body in a chair or a face in a Zoom, and other times it might be a bigger thing that's needed. But we're able to do that because we've made connections and we've engaged and we built these relationships. And so I think it's really important. And I've always thought that, but like I said, last year really made it more real, at least for me, to be able to see that and to feel that support.
Don't see a bunch of questions, but something that we get asked a lot is, these are high achieving students. They got a lot of classwork. Some are married. I don't know why, but they have children and reproduce. Like, how can they possibly have time to engage with Phi Theta Kappa at the local, much less the region level? So what would you say to somebody who feels like they don't have time?
Well, I can say for myself that while I'm not married or have kids, I mean, I do have a family and I do have work and whatnot. And so it's amazing what you can find time for when it matters. Professor Linder, can you actually talk about Levada a little bit? Because she's a great example of this.
Well, I like talking about Levada. Now y'all tell her I said great things about her. It's her birthday today. No, so Levada is a great example. When she joined Phi Theta Kappa, she didn't have any intention of really getting very involved, but she realized there were opportunities here for her, and so she ran for chapter office. She was our public relations secretary. That's the position she was running for first, and she bought cookies in on election day. I'm just saying, that may be bribes, but they were good cookies. But as she was very quiet and didn't really speak up a whole lot, but it didn't take long for her to really gain some confidence. And so then she ran for chapter president, and she grew even more. And she came to my office and said, I'm thinking about running for regional office. And anyone who knows me, so what that meant to me is that I said, okay, so you are running for regional office. Great. The chapter's running. Love to hear it. Because maybe is not in the vocabulary, right? And then I asked her what position she thought we should run for. And she's like, well, I'm really, my heart is, I want to run for regional president. But I don't think that I can do it. So just want to run for District 2 vice president. It's like, okay, so what I'm hearing is we're running for regional president. And sometimes you've got to have that person who just gives you that push that you need to do the thing you really want to do. And so I figured out very early on, this was the way Lavada was kind of indicating to me that's what she needed me to do. She would never do it without me going, yes, you can do this. And so we ran for regional president, and she won. And she did a fantastic job as regional president, and then wanted to serve more. And the thing is, she never wanted to run because it was about her. She just found so much growth in Phi Theta Kappa that she wanted to give that back to the society and its members. So she ran for international president and won, and served spectacularly in a very challenging time, right? That was 2020. But here's the thing about Lavada. She worked full time. She was a student, obviously, and then serving in those various leadership capacities. She has 2 kids. And so she balanced all of those things. And was it hard work? It absolutely was. But did it allow her to grow and to prepare herself for the future greater than anything she'd ever experienced? Absolutely. And so I'm a firm believer that in most circumstances, that you can do the things that you really want, right? It's about prioritizing. It's about making time for the things that are important to you. And because she knew the opportunities were here, she didn't want to say no to this. And so this is what she really focused on. I mean, she served in other areas. She was in other things on campus, don't get me wrong. But this is where she put a lot of her time and effort, because she knew it would pay off dividends for her in the future. And so you can balance those things. Absolutely. She relied on her team. She relied on her chapter. She relied on her advisors, because we firmly believe in that teamwork approach to what we do, that we want to be of service to one another. And so we help each other. And when you have that mindset, then people can really accomplish some great things despite the various pulls on their time.
I want to go slightly off that topic and say, I know Dr. Hargis spoke about advisors being involved and all of that, but I don't think I do half of the things I did if my advisors weren't there and like telling me that you can do it. So I think you could see that with Lavada as well, but I think there's a little bit of all of our advisor support in us and what pushes us to do what we do. So yeah.
Everybody needs a cheerleader. I mean, everybody does. Everybody has to have that champion who's going to help them, because we all hit roadblocks. We all hit the wall at times. Mine is usually in the last 2 weeks before conference. So here we are. But that's what happens. And so you need those people who are like, you can do this. What can I do? How can I help you? And it doesn't matter in what position in which you serve, what experience you have, everybody needs that. And our job as advisors is to do that for our students. But I'll tell you, my students do that back for me. It's really remarkable. That's why I keep going.
I keep going for the free swag. So those who don't know, the Texas region has some of the best swag. I know it's going to be up on Facebook, but they hate us because they ain't us. I'm just saying, the Texas region, we're awesome. and with them buying the pins, if you're into that kind of thing. But there is just so much. I can't wait for another face-to-face Catalyst event, because when Texas walks into the house, people know, and we are just a force. And so you get a lot more support when you have the region behind you, and it's just kind of nice sometimes. Just saying.
They know we're there because we're loud.
You're going to make me find my pins. I forgot about those.
All the pins.
But the recognition is very interesting. So I am not a LinkedIn person, mainly because I'm actually seeking a job. But I guess I should update it because it still says I work at my last job. But now what's great is we have all these virtual badges. And I know after THI, we received a badge for completing. I'm looking at Linder. I got a badge. I just don't know exactly what it was. I mean, I accepted it. But so that's another way to decorate your resume and show that you're completing things, are these virtual. And I know that the Texas region, I am looking at the other regions. The Texas region does have a way of really following trends and really being close to the trends. And so it's not like lagging behind. And so that's another thing that you're going to get at the regional level. I know personally my chapter's not getting a badge for me because that would take me months to send out. I think there's somebody who still needs something for me to mail them. That's not going to happen. So, the Texas region, you're involved at the local level, but once you get to the Texas region, you get a few more perks and anything on the resume to be competitive for the scholarships, for the entrance to college, to get the job. Those are all amazing opportunities.
Do we have any more questions from the audience? And feel free to drop them in the chat or raise your hand or just unmute and talk.
So I know silence is golden, but I can handle it. So we have been virtual. So this group ran for office. They campaigned in the virtual realm. I'm not exactly sure how the next few years are going to be, but I know that I've really enjoyed these virtual inductions, the ability to really go all over Texas and see different things. And I really, really love the campaigning that the region is. So if you weren't at the Texas Region Conference last year, you should know that to run for regional office, you have to do a skit. And it just has to be something related to Phi Theta Kappa, to, the hallmarks or something, Phi Theta Kappa-ish. And one of the things, like, I'm not savvy or whatever, but some of the videos that were submitted were just so amazing. It's a really great time for you to be able to have your personality shine. And so I can't stress enough how it's great to come to workshops and it's fun to get engaged and go to fellowship events or whatnot. Like, by the way, the virtual fellowships events are like amazing. I won $50 at Bingo one time. I don't know how, I don't know any songs and can't name any singers, but somehow I won something. My 7-year-old helped me. But just getting involved in just campaigning was so much fun, I thought, and just watching the videos was great. So I'm really hoping, I assume you guys felt the same way, those of you who campaigned. What did you guys think about the whole doing the skit and engaging that way?
That's definitely something that I know I look forward to every single year. So when I first attended TRC, I got to be in person, but so I got to see that shift from in person to online, and it's still, we all brought the same energy, whether we were like in person or online. And it's just something that I really look forward to each year, getting to see the officer team and our members use their creativity and just pick a theme and pick our little like script and all that and assign roles. It's really fun.
I don't think I've ever laughed so hard in all of my life than watching Alexis be Fix-It Felix. It was so much fun. It was just greatness. I mean, we had more laugh fest than I think was even humanly possible. It was great.
Honestly, I'm wondering if I chose the wrong major and I'm supposed to be in theater.
The that is something that I want to add on to running for regional office virtually, is that all of the previous skits that are performed at in-person regional conventions don't get recorded, or you can't hear them or whatnot, but we have recorded versions from all the skits of this past year. And so it's really cool to like go back and be able to watch them and just see it all over again, laugh anew.
Definitely. And if you maybe, because there's so many, like if you want to see one again or you get the chance to completely enjoy it, you're like, hey, let's just watch it again. But I guess my question is, because there are recordings, can we access those recordings, or is it specifically at the regional level? Because you mentioned that.
So that's something that it's helpful to have networking. So if you know the chapters that ran, you can ask them for the recordings.
Yeah, because I wanted to add that too, because I was like, I don't know how that exactly works. And if we can and not, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, a lot of times people think that they need to have been in Phi Theta Kappa for a while before they consider serving as a representative, right? If their chapter runs and wins a position. That is not the case. Really, the most important thing that you have coming in as a representative when you're being elected to regional office is just the want to do a good job. We can take care of the rest. We can help train you, but we can't give somebody the want to do it. And so if there's anything holding you back from trying to get your chapter to run so you can serve in this position, don't let that be the thing that holds you back. We'll help you get where you need to be. You don't, like, some of our best regional officers have been brand new, be like, what's a hallmark? I mean, and I'm serious about that. And we can take care of all that. So don't think you have to be here for a certain amount of time. We don't want you to waste any opportunity.
I mean, we can attest to that right now. Or is it 2 or 3 of our current regional officers who are kind of brand new to Phi Theta Kappa and are already doing a phenomenal job?
Yeah, Jacob Lambie, who served with Levada, right? His chapter was elected and then he was selected as the rep before he had his induction. And then he served as an RO and went on to be an IO, right? And had he waited, he wouldn't have had that opportunity to serve as an IO. So that's why I said, don't wait. We can take care of everything else. We can help you with information and stuff like that. Like, if you want to do it, we'll get you there.
Do we have any other questions from the audience?
I just want to respond to Jumper here. You asked about if the videos were on the YouTube page for the running for office, the skits. They are not, because sometimes people use copyrighted material. And so we can't put them on there. We'll get a strike. Yeah, that's what Anna said about like networking and reaching out to a chapter. Like, that's the best way to do it. Is sharing the files that way, because then you don't have to worry about copyright.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Because we've tried to live stream on social media skits and stuff like that because they're fun. And then we run into that. Somebody will be playing music, like, and as soon as it happens, I'm like, well, here comes the strike. I know it's about to happen. Any other questions for anyone?
So as a Phi Theta Kappa member, new to the Texas region, how do you get the shirts if everything's like been virtual?
Well, one of the best things to do, like we mentioned earlier, is attend those conferences and conventions. Every single time they have a new fantastic t-shirt design. I know that at the TRC in 2020, we even got socks too, like some checkered socks, really cute. So you can get it then. It's definitely one of the ways.
Yeah, we did a t-shirt design that we made available for sale during the virtual events. but nobody bought them. It was really like 3 chapters that bought them. And so I didn't do a t-shirt design for THI, and I'm not doing one for TLC because it's just a lot of work to ask Dr. Molly to make the design when they don't actually get sold. So we'll say we haven't had t-shirts for the last couple. But when we come back in person at TRC next year, because it is going to happen, then we will have a t-shirt there for you.
Okay, and before we go, I just realized we're talking about training and developing leadership and whatnot. New advisors. The Texas region does an advisor training every year. And so if you're a new advisor and you're confused about what this means, and maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna hit the 2-year mark and I don't know what I'm doing and I'm just gonna quit. No, we'll train you and we'll give you lots of opportunities and great things. And so when I know that this is for the students, but there is a lot of great development for faculty, staff, or advisors as well. So if you're new, if you're watching this, or if you're a student, a member, and you're worried about your advisor, they don't know everything, reach out. We do training. We would love to meet one-on-one and we can help. So a lot of advice.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. The students just don't get the same opportunities for engagement because they don't know about them if the advisors aren't engaged. And so it's just tremendously important for the advisors to engage with the region to make more opportunities available for the students. Period, end of story. Right. Any other questions? All right. Well, I want to thank our 2 chapters for presenting this information today. It was a lot of great information. I know chapters are going to be watching this on YouTube, the ones that couldn't be here, so that they can get some ideas of how they can engage and the benefits from it. And so as 2 chapters that are continually engaged at the regional level, I really appreciate you putting this together and presenting this for the Texas region today. Thank you so much.